Welcome to World History Lesson 9. The Byzantine Empire and Islam. Our lesson objectives are: identify the significance of the location of the Byzantine Empire, identify the contributions of Justinian, identify the contributions of the Byzantine Empire, identify the characteristics of the Islamic religion, identify the contributions of the Islamic civilization. The Eastern Roman Empire. Emperor Constantine moved the capital of the Roman Empire to Byzantium in Asia Minor when the empire was divided. After the fall of the Roman Empire around AD 476, the ancient world came to an end, and in its place arose three civilizations. The demise of the Roman Empire gave birth to the Byzantine Empire, also known as the Eastern Roman Empire, the Muslim Empire, and Western Europe. The Byzantine Empire lasted about 1,000 years. Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire, is located on the Bosporus Strait, the waterway connecting the Black Sea and the Mediterranean Sea. The geographic location of the Byzantine Empire was excellent because it allowed access to the seas. Constantinople's location made it possible to control important trade routes between east and west and north and south. Economically, the city of Constantinople was quite rich, as its geographic location made it a crossroad between east and west. The Byzantine Empire controlled rich mines of copper, silver, gold, and fertile farmland. Constantinople also enjoyed prosperity due to its trade relationship with Asia, India, and parts of Europe. Among the products traded were furs, jewels, and other precious metals. The Byzantine Empire was ruled by autocrats who held complete power. The greatest leader of the Byzantine Empire was Justinian. He ruled for about 40 years, from AD 527 to 565. Emperor Justinian was very talented in the areas of law, music, and architecture. Under Justinian's rule, the Byzantine Empire gained back some of the Western Roman Empire lost to the barbarians as it expanded westward. Anxious to restore the former Roman Empire, Justinian conquered northern Africa, southern Spain, and Italy. The army under Justinian was able to defeat the Persians in the east. The military victories of Justinian prevented the Persians from taking the capital city of Constantinople. Probably the greatest contribution Justinian made to the Byzantine Empire was to codify the laws of the Roman Empire. By doing this, Justinian had all the laws under which the people were governed were written down in one book. The recording of the law allowed the laws to be kept for many generations and became known as the Justinian's Code. During the command of Justinian, work began on the Hagia Sophia, or Holy Wisdom, one of the world's most beautiful churches. This church differs from those in Western Europe as its domed roof is shaped like an onion. The church itself is surrounded by 4 towers with pointed tops. Fun fact: the Byzantine Empire stretched from Persia to Western Europe and interacted and traded with cultures beyond their borders. The Vikings were fierce warriors and merchants served as mercenaries to the Byzantine Empire. These mercenaries were called the Varangian Guard and served as the emperor's personal guards and elite soldiers in battle. It was discovered in 1964 that a Viking warrior named Halfdan carved these runes into the Hagia Sophia, leaving his graffiti for all of history. The carvings are dated back to the 9th century. Because Justinian was such a powerful ruler, the Byzantine Empire nearly collapsed when he died. Justinian ruled the Byzantine Empire with his wife, Theodora. While they were in power, Theodora helped to improve the status of women in the Byzantine Empire. For example, women were permitted to own property. The army of the Byzantine Empire was a professional and well-disciplined force. This was necessary in order to protect the Byzantine Empire from attack, first from barbarians like the Huns, the Slavs, and the Turks, and then Arabs, and later from the Crusaders of Western Europe. The navy of Byzantium was very powerful, enabling the leaders to control the seas and prevent attacks. Nevertheless, in spite of the excellent army and navy, the government was unable to slow the rise of discontent among the people of the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire was expensive to maintain, so it became necessary to tax the people more and more. This tax burden of supporting the large empire angered the people. In AD 532, the people revolted in Constantinople and threatened the government. Justinian's army crushed the rebels, killing up to 30,000 people. From this time until his death, Justinian's rule was unchallenged from within. From Justinian's reign until the 15th century, the Byzantine Empire had to constantly fight invaders. The Byzantine Empire gradually began to lose its territories and became weakened by years of fighting. By the late 1300s, the Byzantine Empire consisted of only the city of Constantinople and a small part of Greece. In 1453, the Ottoman Turks, who practiced Islam, one of the world's major religions, captured Constantinople and renamed it Istanbul. This Christian city became the capital of the Ottoman Empire. This ended the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire and religion. Christianity was not the same in the Byzantine Empire as it was in the Western Empire. There was much disagreement about customs of the church. One very important event in the history of the Byzantine Empire was the split in the Catholic Church between the East and West. Until the middle of the 11th century, the people of the Byzantine Empire continued to follow the religion of the Roman Catholic Church. In 1054, years of arguing between the Roman Catholic popes and the Patriarch of Constantinople caused the Byzantine Empire to form its own church. Today, millions of Eastern Europeans and Russians follow what is now called the Greek Orthodox or Eastern Orthodox Church. Contributions to civilization. The contributions of Byzantium were most significantly felt in Eastern Europe. The Byzantine Empire blended Roman, Christian, Greek, and Middle Eastern elements to create a unique culture. Even today in Istanbul, the modern name for Constantinople, a visitor can see the blend of cultures. With the Justinian Code, the Byzantine Empire preserved Roman law and Greek culture, and language were absorbed into Byzantine culture. The Ottoman conquerors adapted features of Byzantine government, social life, and architecture into their own culture. Even today, the Russian alphabet contains some Greek letters. Byzantine artists made unique contributions, especially in religious art and architecture, that have influenced Western styles from the Middle Ages to the present. Designed to evoke the presence of God, icons, religious images were painted on small wooden panels staring directly outward. This technique gave the viewer a sense of personal contact with the sacred. The figures painted seemed to glow as the artist painted upon a background of reflecting gold paint. Mosaics, that is, pictures or designs made of colored bits of stained glass or tiles cemented in place, brought scenes from the Bible to life. Byzantine architectures blended Greek, Roman, Persian, and other Middle Eastern styles in palaces and churches. Byzantine scholars produced their own books and also preserved the ancient Greek classics. Byzantine historians were mostly concerned with writing about their own times, just like Greek historians. Considered by many scholars to be the Western world's first important female historian, Anna Komnene analyzed the reign of her father, the Emperor Alexius I, and portrayed Latin crusaders as greedy barbarians. As the Byzantine Empire threatened to collapse, Greek scholars left Constantinople in the 1400s to teach at Italian universities. Along with their knowledge of Greek and Byzantine culture, they took valuable Greek manuscripts to the West. The work of these scholars contributed to the European culture first developing, known as the Renaissance. The rise of Islam. The religion of Islam started in the Arabian Peninsula. At one time, the Islamic world covered North Africa, Arabia, Persia, Asia Minor, Spain, and part of France. Islamic culture is a blend of the cultures of the East and West. Today, there are over 1 billion people that believe in the Islamic faith. The millions of people who practice the religion of Islam are called Muslims and believe in Allah or God. The Quran, or Quran, is the Islamic holy book and teaches the basic ideas of the Islamic faith. The followers of Islam believe that Muhammad is the prophet or messenger of Allah. The holy city of Islam is Mecca, where millions still visit for prayer each year. Mecca is located in present-day Saudi Arabia. Muhammad was an Arab merchant and believed to have begun his preaching in Mecca. Muhammad made many enemies and was forced to leave Mecca. Muhammad did not agree with such religious practices as worshiping idols and also believed all Muslim men were equal. Muslims have 5 religious responsibilities, known as the 5 pillars of Islam. The people of Islam pray 5 times a day. Each time they go down on their hands and knees, face the holy city of Mecca, and recite a prayer. Once each year for 1 month, called Ramadan, the people of the Islamic faith fast or go without food from sunrise to sunset. This is to remind them to care for those who are in need. They must also give to the poor. They must offer a statement of their faith that there is no God but Allah, and they are expected to go to Mecca at least once in their lifetime. Muslims believe in the same God as Jews and Christians, recognizing many of the same prophets. The faith of Islam has no official priests who mediate between the people and God. Islam teaches that people are responsible for their own actions. Each individual will stand before God on the final judgment day and face either eternal punishment in hell or eternal bliss in paradise, depending upon his or her actions. True followers of Islam believe that they will be rewarded with eternal life in paradise upon their death. The governments of Islamic nations take their laws directly from the Quran. The caliphs, Muslim political and religious leaders, rule in the communities. Punishment is very harsh for those who disobey the laws of the religion. Muslims who die fighting for their faith are promised entrance to the paradise, and religious wars are called jihads. Contributions to civilization. Islamic tradition believed that truth could be known through faith in Allah. Islamic philosophers tried to combine that tradition with the Greek tradition that humans could gain truth through reason. Christian thinkers in medieval Europe would try to do the same much later. The Quran, Islam's holy book, was a major contribution to literature. The Quran established Arabic as an expressive literary language. Even before the Quran was written, Arabs had a strong tradition of storytelling and were particularly fond of poetry. Fictional adventure stories also played an important part in Islamic literature, with the collection of the Arabian Nights or the 1001 Nights being particularly famous. The tales of Aladdin, Ali Baba, and Sinbad are known today all over the world. Since the Quran forbids the worship of idols, Muslim religious leaders forbade artists to portray God or human figures in religious art. As a result, Muslim artists developed a decorative style called arabesque. Arabesque used detailed, abstract geographic patterns of curved lines. The walls and ceilings of mosques, textiles, rugs, and glassware were decorated with arabesque. In non-religious art, some Muslim artists painted human and animal figures and excelled at painting miniatures to illustrate books. Muslims also perfected skills in calligraphy or artistic lettering. They worked the flowing Arabic scripts into decorations on pages of verse from the Quran and on buildings and objects of art. Mosques were the most important buildings in the Islamic world. The architecture of mosques became a major art form featuring domes, towers called minarets, clusters of marble columns called vaulted ceilings, and pointed arches. One of the greatest mosques is in Jerusalem. It is called the Dome of the Rock. Other inventions and important ideas were developed by Islamic scientists. With centuries of trade and travel to India, China, Russia, Africa, and Europe, geographers developed a map of the earth. The greatest Muslim mathematician was Al-Khwarizmi. His work prepared the way for the study of algebra. Evidence of Islamic contributions to modern mathematics exists in the English language with terms from Arabic including algebra and zero. Muslim astronomers accurately calculated the circumference of the earth within a few thousand feet. Muslim astronomers and navigators perfected instruments to observe the stars. They accurately determined latitude and longitude, helping to pave the way for later explorers. Muslims made advances in medicine. They wrote various books and an encyclopedia on topics such as measles and smallpox, and included a list of over 4,000 prescriptions. Arab pharmacists were the first to mix bitter medicines and sweet-tasting syrups. One of the most original medical thinkers was Al-Razi. He advised doctors to treat the mind as well as the body, as well as teaching doctors to make hopeful comments so that patients would recover faster. In surgery, Muslims introduced the use of animal gut to stitch cuts and wounds. Muslim eye surgeons developed a way to treat cataracts by drawing fluid from the eye's lens with a hollow needle. What's next? Take the time to go back and review the lesson on your own. After your review, complete the lesson review for the lesson and submit for grading. Remember, your submission should follow all the rules for standard written English. All submissions must be written in your own words and sources used cited at the end. How to cite sources in APA format. When you reference a source within an APA-style paper, whether it is using a direct quote, repurposing an image, or simply referring to an idea or theory, you should insert an in-text citation, the author's surname and the date of publication within parentheses, straight after a direct quote. The URL citationmachine.net will assist you in creating citations.